That sound like it'll go viral. Yeah, you could send it. Oh, so cute. Responsibility.
Come out 4 months, so. But it's flying by.
She resisted.
So this is literally like the last like couple months to start I don't hold back. But no, he's so funny. I can stare at these videos all day long. I got those other house down. So I got lots of people. I don't know about something. So we're like
I'm going to call the January 17th meeting of the West Des Moines City Council to order and invite you all to stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance as YJI leads us in that pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to our YJI friends. Good to have you guys here. Okay, everybody, please sign in.
Three members present.
Okay, and I also want to announce, since our regular meetings are normally on Monday, but because of Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which we had a very nice celebration yesterday, unfortunately, Councilwoman Renee Hardman, this ended up coinciding with her Board of Trustees meeting at Broadlawn. So she is going to be trying to join us. She might join us a little bit later, and she may not make it at all, but she's going to try to be here. So. Ryan, are there any changes to the agenda?
No changes, Your Honor.
Okay, seeing no changes, would somebody like to move the agenda as distributed? All right, it's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
Three yes.
Okay, we're going to move on to item 2, Citizens Forum. And I want to start Citizens Forum, and this is the time for anybody in the audience who'd like to address the council on any item that is not either a part of public hearing or new business. So either item 6 or item 7. I'm going to start out with a gentleman. We had a public hearing at our last meeting dealing with the a parcel for development at Glen Oaks. And the gentleman was trying to get in online, hitting *6, and had some difficulties getting through. So is he online today?
Yes, he's on the line now.
Okay. Sir, are you there?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay. Well, we apologize you couldn't get through, and we want to give you time now to voice any concerns you have. We've got it on the agenda under old business today, but go ahead, and if you could give us your name and address for the record, and I just ask that you keep it to 5 minutes or less.
Thank you. My name is Robert Burns, and I live at 844 Glen Oaks Terrace, which is directly across the street of Glen Oaks Drive from the proposed development. Under item 5.A today, the Glen Oaks row homes. And my request to the City Council is to respectfully defer item 5.A until after the Glen Oaks Owners Association annual meeting in February 2023, so that all owners have an opportunity to discuss these proposed changes. The timing of the initial planning and zoning meeting and the city council meeting took place, as you know, between Christmas and New Year's. And many of the owners at the Glen Oaks Owner Association are away from their home at Glen Oaks visiting family. And based on my conversations with many of them, this was the case. This item was initially brought up in March of 2022 and April. In that time frame, it was deferred indefinitely, and then bringing it up at Christmas, even though it was properly noticed. I think it would be best if the city council could defer this action tonight on item 5A so that you would receive the input from the annual meeting in February, which I know this item will be on the agenda. That seems fair and reasonable, and I respectfully request that you consider that when you take up item 5A tonight.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Burns. I appreciate your comments. I guess I would just have a couple questions for you. And I guess my first question to you would be, well, this item has been brought up by P&Z and deferred. It's been brought up by council and deferred. I think we initially took this item up as a council in early October. And I guess, so this has been out there for quite a while. My question to you would be, what would deferring do, considering that my understanding is that the homeowners association did not agree to give the ground that Mr. Myers was requesting to him for development, which is why he's pursuing this item the way that he has with a different setback.
Yeah, I can answer your question.
Okay.
Thank you for that question.
Yes.
Yes, I know that the existing right-of-way that is referred to as the burn along Glen Oaks Drive will not be transferred to the developer. And we agree, I agree, I can't speak for anybody but myself at this point, with that decision. The reason that I think it should be brought up for more discussion is the waiving of the front yard setback, which would be 35 feet according to the zoning ordinance, to a 0-foot setback. And the members of the Glen Oaks Owners Association that I've spoken with had no idea that was happening. So I guess the justification is we waited almost, you said, into October, and now we're into Christmas. It seems like it would be of value to the city council to receive the input from all of the owners and not just the board. I know the Glen Oaks Owners Association board may have been discussing this with the developer during that time frame, but be that as it is, the annual meeting is where we all get together, and it will be a Zoom meeting. And so even if you're not present in West Des Moines, you'll have owners will have an opportunity to weigh in on this issue. So you may find out that there isn't any objection to it. But a lot of them did not seem to understand even the fact that the berm was going to stay in place, and it would only be disturbed to provide two entrances into the development, and so that was new information for them. So that, I realized that what that means, they have a responsibility to keep track of it, but now it has risen to their attention, and I'm just asking that you defer it until after the Glen Oaks Owners Association meet, and then you can receive their input as well.
Okay, I appreciate your comments, and I guess we'll see what the council's decision is when we get to that item. Does anybody else would like to comment on that before we move on to other citizens that might want to speak?
Mr. Burns, what is the date of that owners
I
association?
didn't hear that last comment. I'm sorry. It was just a little hard to hear it.
It really wasn't an important comment. I guess the comment was, we will see what the prerogative of the council is when we get to that item, and then Councilman Trevilian had a question for you.
I got it. Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate you listening to me. And if there are any other questions, I'll answer them, but that's what I had to say tonight.
Yeah, Mr. Burns, this is Councilman Trevilian. What is the date of that owners association? You said February, but what's the actual
Owners
date?
Association meeting.
What's
Off the top of my head, I can't answer that, but it's somewhere in the mid part of the month. Let me look and see if I have it on my calendar. Give me a second.
Okay.
My wife is looking it up right now on the computer, and if you want to move on to the next item, I will call back on this number and let the city clerk know what that date is, so you know.
Maybe we can give you a second there, Mr. Burns, to look it up. I do have a question.
Okay.
Do you have other
No,
questions?
that was it. I just,
Okay.
I'm sorry I don't have that for you, but
Okay, no problem. Well, if you get it here in the next minute or so, let us know. I guess I have a question for you, Mr. Burns. This is Matt McKinney, and this is an item that did come before our Development and Planning Committee back in October, first part of October. My understanding is that this whole development is really contingent not on what's happening at the city council level, but rather whether or not the homeowners association is able to grant access to the developer for purposes of accessing some of the ground that apparently lies behind the berm, or at least a strip of ground that the homeowners association has. And so I offer that, as well as the context of what this item is relates to a setback. And we had a pretty lengthy discussion, including with our Fire Marshal Witzel on the line. And the purpose of the setback was really discussed in detail during that meeting. And forgive me, it was 90 plus days ago. But we resolved at that meeting that the setback, the intent of it is really for certain public safety needs. And given the property boundary lines with respect to this area, it didn't violate any city public safety because of where property lines are. In other words, there was no concern about the setback here because of where property lines happen to be. And so I guess I bring that up to let you know that, insofar as it relates to concerns of the city, the concerns of the city were related to public safety and traffic, none of which were brought up or that raised a flag here. And so it really boils down to really whether or not the HOA is going to grant access. And it seems to me that whether they do grant access, then the development moves forward. If they don't grant access, has nothing to do with the city, the development won't move forward. It's entirely up to the HOA. So that's my understanding, and that's why I'm trying to figure out why deferring really does much good, if at all, here.
Yeah, and
okay, well, thank you for that explanation. I understand what you're saying. So I can't answer the question, obviously, of whether the access will be granted to the developer or not. And I would expect that to be discussed at the annual meeting in itself. and I appreciate the public safety issue on the setback requirements. I think that's a point that you could make at the Glen Oaks Owners Association meeting, either in person or with one of the city planners, so that they understand that. But it's the time when more people who are interested in the development. There's 400 owners in that development, and there are 400 citizens and 400 plus, they're concerned about the city and their development. And this is one of the final, it may be the final piece of land that needs to be developed. And I think there has been offers. I have nothing to do with it, but there have been offers for other uses and to purchase the land from the existing owner. And but if the developer wants to go ahead with his development and he can do it in a legal manner, that's the city council's prerogative. And I guess I'm coming full circle back to your point. Whether the access is granted or not is may very well be an issue on the agenda for the Owners Association meeting in February, and that will be something that will be reported back to the city, I'm sure. And my spouse has just handed me a note that says that the annual meeting is February 15th at 6 p.m. And I know it's going to be a Zoom meeting, so if someone in the city would like to participate in that, I would recommend that they contact the management agent for the Glen Oaks Owners Association, and he could tell you whether how you could participate or in that meeting.
Okay, well, Mr. Burns, thank you so much for sharing tonight. Appreciate it. If you want to stick around, we will obviously be getting to that item hopefully fairly shortly. So thank you so much.
I will call back in on the regular number, and thank you for setting this up tonight so that I was assured that I could speak to you. I really appreciate it, and good luck to you and
absolutely.
And the rest of the meeting. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks again. Take care.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else for Citizens Forum? Okay, Catherine, go ahead.
Oh, do you want to go?
Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Dan Ayton. I live at 9939 Alexander Circle in the courtyards at Kings Landing in West Des Moines. I rise to the purpose of endorsing the development by Jared Johnson and Accurate. We had an excellent meeting where 2 of the city council persons and 2 staff people joined us. Communication solves so many things. I am not here to tell you that there are no people who are concerned about the trees disappearing. There obviously are, and I know that. But at the end of our meeting, all of the people, without exception, asked me to come and support this development, believing, as one person said, better to deal with the devil you know than the devil you don't know. And Jared made it very clear that we wouldn't like some of the things that he has to do to make this development work, but that explained why they're necessary. I think our remaining concern is where the extension of Alexander Circle goes, and we will work with him. He pledged to be transparent with us, and we appreciate that very much. So I'd like you to know that that communication and the participation of the council members was very helpful.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you so much for being here and sharing that. That is absolutely heartwarming, and the way we hope everything works here. We had a very, I don't want to say difficult, but we had a robust discussion last time about this agenda item, and a lot of participation. And I want to thank staff and the council members that went out and met with you guys. I want to thank Jared. This is the way we hope things happen. We realize not everybody's going to be completely happy, like you said, with everything. But, man, I wish everything could go this way.
Yeah, you need to
So.
have the future
It's the way it's supposed to happen.
Mayor, I'll echo that. So HOA is probably one of the more organized HOAs I've experienced as I've been here. And Dan, thank you for taking the time to pull that large group together. Very productive meeting. Mayor and, colleagues, I appreciate the extra time we had to be able to have those conversations. And Jared, thank you for taking the time to be there. It was very productive. I think everybody obviously got on the same page. So I think a win-win-win.
Thank you. And it was you and Councilman Lotz that were out there? Well, thank you guys for being there, and thank you to staff, too. Okay, anybody else for a Citizens Forum? Catherine?
Good evening. My name is Catherine Harrington, the very proud president and CEO of the West Des Moines Chamber of Commerce, and I'm here tonight to help us all celebrate. So we had an incredible MLK celebration. I know Renee would want to be here tonight to do her report. So hope she does that at the next council meeting because she will bring us to tears as always. But I want to thank Audrey Kennis for being our incredible leader. It was an amazing event. You did so well with organizing so many key stakeholders. We had 9 key stakeholders this year that were involved in this. It keeps growing and growing and growing. So I know people had an amazing experience. We have Mayada Alwan here tonight, one of our youth scholarship winners. There she is. So Mayada, congratulations again. So it was just incredible, and it does keep growing every year. So we might want to think about a new, larger venue next year. We all kind of talked about that. And Duo, in celebration of our incredible Mid-American Energy Recplex, we created a beautiful commemorative, yes, we found this in the archives. I know, as of 2 years ago, October 21 of 2020, October 3 of 2021, can you believe that was that long ago that we did that project? Doesn't that seem like yesterday that you all did that project? So we want to present this. The Great Frame Up owner, Angela Jackson, our board chair, wanted to make sure you all had this. I think it would be wonderful to get a picture.
Yeah.
It's quite heavy, so I'm going to put this down. But it's, so when I walked in, there were hundreds of ice skaters, young, old, just zipping around during free skate time. So I don't know what the stats are, but I can imagine this is filled all the time and all the work you all went through to get to that point. And West Des Moines is growing so much. We have other great projects that we're looking at, the Grand Experience, Convention Center. So you go through the thick to get through to the thin. And I'm just so proud of what we can do when we think big. And we're doing amazing things for our region. So congratulations on the Recplex and the success. We're going to be writing a story about it, and we're excited to spread that to the world. So congratulations. Can we get a photo?
Thank you.
really quick?
Let's all come down and get a photo. Yes, thank you, Catherine. And I want to make sure that City Manager Tom Haddon comes down and gets in this photo because there have been a lot of people that worked very hard on this, but probably nobody has worked harder than Tom Haddon. This is Tom Haddon's baby. So, and he's still working hard. This is the gift that keeps giving every day to him. So. Is Sally here? Sally Ortiz? Is she? Oh, in the corner hiding. Come on, Sally. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll Photoshop Renee into that one.
And Doug.
And Doug, yeah, Doug, you can't. Doug, you're here in spirit, man. Okay, anybody else for Citizens Forum? Oh, Vicky.
You didn't see me,
You
did you?
snuck up on me. I didn't even see you. Cat-like.
I want to say it's truly an honor to be here. My name is Vicki Long Hill, 136 10th Street, West Des Moines Valley Junction. I just want to stand and say what a great experience it was in celebrating the MLK celebration that West Des Moines put together, and Audrey Kennis. Wow. Wow. I mean, I've been to some MLK celebrations, as I'm sure many of you have, and this was like one of the largest crowds. It was well put together. The keynote speaker, Dr. Jock, oh, was he awesome? And we should be proud of him as well as a Valley High School alum. It just was phenomenal. The awards that was given out, and the young lady is here tonight, congratulations. So I just thought that it was diverse. It was round, it included everyone, and it was just great. Second to none. Again, I want to thank the City of West Des Moines, Audrey Kennis, for putting it together. And we need to keep doing these types of celebration that embrace diversity and the culture that we have here in West Des Moines. Thank you.
Couldn't agree more with you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your kind words. Okay, anybody else for Citizens Forum? Anybody online that wants to hit *6, not #6, but *6 to unmute yourself for Citizens Forum? Going once, going twice. Okay, gone. Citizens Forum is over. We're going to now move on to item 3, Mayor, Council, Manager Report, Other Entities Update, and we are going to start with the West Des Moines Community Policing video,
Mayor,
Emmy Award
if I
recognition.
may,
Yes.
we have some guests with us tonight.
Okay,
Who I
you wanna
think have to get to some study
Okay,
tools.
let's,
If we can
sorry,
start with
let's,
them,
yes.
and then we'll go to us.
Yes, let's
Thank
go,
you.
let's start with YJI. Thank you, Chief. Always a gentleman, always a gentleman. We want to make sure everyone can study and get good grades, continue to get good
That's our
grades,
goal,
okay?
right? Graduation. I'm Jennifer Hahn, and I'm the Director of Youth Justice Initiative. And everyone has heard enough from me. So Mayada has agreed, and the young people are going to tell you about the program rather than myself, because they're the ones that are really doing it and participating. So I'm going to hand it off to Mayada, and know that they've all been practicing, and I really appreciate everyone's time tonight.
Good evening, council members. My name is Mayada, and I'm a senior at Valley High School. I'm here tonight surrounded by neighbors, classmates, and friends. As previously stated, we're all here to talk about YJI and the impacts this organization has had on our lives through its various programs and community members. I want to begin by sharing about YJI's Teen Tech program. Teen Tech started in 2020 with the goal of having student leaders teach the elderly population of West Des Moines on how to use their tech devices for free. We've hosted this program at both the Clive and West Des Moines libraries, as well as Ashworth retirement homes. Our program does not only work to provide training, but also combat the loneliness and isolation older generations feel in their communities by giving them a much-needed support in that area. I'm deeply grateful for YJI for giving me my first job. Through my unique position as lead tech trainer, I've been given the chance to grow my leadership skills, and I apply that in my club involvements of being the activities head of Valley High School's Refugee and Immigrant Student Embassy, RISE. Recently, I've been awarded with the MLK Junior Youth Scholarship, as mentioned, an accomplishment I wouldn't have been able to get without YJS help and involvement in my life. Next, I will pass the mic to Kenya.
Hi, my name is Kenya Gomez. I am a senior at Valley High School. I'm a proud graduate of YJI, and honestly, if I was never in the program, I would not be here right now. Speaking about my life, I feel like the biggest impact was the 15-hour family class with my mom to help me become a better daughter, cousin, sister, and friend. YJI has also helped me academically by me attending study table every Tuesday and Thursday, and it has also helped me with school. and have more motivation with my future plans. Without your continued funding, they can't help kids like me. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Madiha Alwan, and today I'll be talking about one of the many programs that YJI hosts called Study Table. Study Table is a place where students can go to receive help with their academic work on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Before attending Study Table, the maximum amount of time I spent working on homework was about 30 minutes. As I kept attending Study Table, I noticed how the amount of time I spent studying has increased, which had also improved my academic performance. One other thing that I had gained from attending Study Table was getting to know the people that lived in the neighborhood and creating relationships with them. When I think about Study Table, it reminds me of my tutor that I had back in my home country, Lebanon, and how proud she would have been seeing how far I've come along with my academic learning. We would like to thank you all for the support we're receiving, and we hope you can continue to do so.
Good evening, my name is Damien, and I'm a junior at Valley. Coming into YJI, I had a GPA of 0.04. It was one of the worst YJI has ever seen. And if it wasn't for the awesome efforts of the staff at YJI Study Table, I wouldn't have gotten my grades up, and I wouldn't have kept them up. This is just one of the many wonderful things I benefited from. Before YJI, I wasn't really active in the community, and I kind of kept to myself. Now I'm always doing some community service projects. I help out at Study Table now. I have a job, and I also had the opportunity to join the West Des Moines Public Safety Cadet Program. I want to thank everyone for their generous donations to YJI, because without all your help, I wouldn't be where I am today. So thank you.
Hello, my name is Sahaja Thomas, and I came here to tell everyone the amazing things YJI has done to change everyone. YJI has been doing amazing programs in different places, especially Chapel Ridge. Some of the programs they have done have been Monday programs. This program does learning activities in a really fun way for younger and older kids to enjoy. They have changed me so I can have a better and happier life. YJI has also helped me and my family in so many ways, and I'm really thankful for it. And I also wanted to say thank you for donating to YJI, and thank you. Hi, my name is Luam, and I'm a freshman at Valley Southwoods. And now we would like to thank each and every one of you. Thank you for funding Study Table, YJI, and every other program you guys support us with. You make this happen, and you have given us a lot to thank for. YJI has helped us with our education and things we couldn't accomplish doing ourselves or at home. All of you guys helped us with our education and what we decide to do on our free time. We can accomplish great things with our lives and in our future, and it's all thanks to you. We wouldn't have these great people helping us out in a wonderful environment for us to study with no distractions, and people we know we can depend on for help. We really appreciate the support. Thank you.
When the city continues its support and funding of YJI, it shows its commitment to supporting underserved communities such as low-income families, Black and brown families, and immigrant families. And if tonight was any indicator, great things happen when we uplift those communities. We're a family, we laugh together, cry together, and we celebrate together. And we wish you continue supporting the growth of this family. Thank you so much.
Jennifer,
Chief.
Yeah. You could use some of these presentation skills, and that is not easy. That is, I want to commend each and every one of you for getting up here, have the nerve to get up here and speak in front of the city council.
Absolutely.
That is not easy. You're all very brave for doing that. Public speaking is not easy. You guys all did amazing. Some of the most eloquent students I've ever heard. So thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing the importance of YJI with us. You know, I have been involved in YJI for a very long time. I've been on the advisory board, and it is a phenomenal, phenomenal program. And we have got unbelievable workers and volunteers in YJI who really care about each and every one of you and all of our young people in this community. I'm proud that YJI has such a low rate of recidivism. And it's important not only to give kids a second chance who have offended and done something wrong, but kids that are at risk, that are at risk of dropping out of school, that might have a 0.04. And it's great to hear that you're doing so well in school and you're going to study table. That's not easy either. And if you just show up and you do the work, you're going to have a very successful future, each and every one of you guys. I also just want to take a second, Jennifer, no crying in here. I thought when these guys were presenting, you were going to cry. It's a chain reaction. You're going to get me going. Then McKinney's going to start crying. It's not going to be good. But Jennifer, I have said this to you and to your husband, Irving. You guys have been involved in this program for a very long time. Like I said, the Recplex was Tom's baby. This is your baby. And I have never seen somebody who is more passionate and cares more about such a program as you and Irving. He's right there with you every step of the way. I have witnessed you firsthand when you are not on the clock, being on the clock, picking a kid up from somewhere he wasn't supposed to be and taking him where he was supposed to be. And for how much we donate or contribute to the program, you guys put in a considerable amount of time and money out of your own pockets. So thank you for all of you guys for everything you do. This is an incredible program. And if I ever get a chance to encourage the Waukee School District to work with you all, I think they need to do that, and we might need to revisit that because this is very beneficial to our community. So
I want to congratulate all of you for getting up here and talking because, as was stated, there's a lot of adults that can't do what you just did. But Damien, in my eyes, you're a standout. It takes a huge amount of guts to stand up here in front of God and everybody and say, I had a 0.04 grade point average. And look at you now. You're on the cadet program. I would be.
Your GPA is now.
What is it?
3.4.
3.4. I would love to know in about, what grade are you in? 11. Junior. I would love to know in about 5 years what you're doing. Because there's no doubt. There you go. There's no doubt in my mind that you have now crossed over to that point that you know where you belong, what you can do, and I think you're going to do some great things. So congratulations to you.
I won't, I'll just echo Mayor and Kevin, so many great comments there. And I also want to add, though, you all spoke with such confidence.
Yes.
You got up here, you had a conviction and a belief, and you shared it in such a compelling and passionate way. So I'm not going to rehash it all. Thank you for Jennifer and everybody for all the work that you're doing there. It's a fantastic program. I'm so glad you came here to,
Yes.
generate more awareness, more education of what you're doing. And I think if there's ways to, further expand it, like you're talking about, Mayor, all the better.
I just want to make sure everyone knows that this isn't me. This is all of us. This is our community reps that all come and take their time. And it's a community program. So I work hard, but there's a lot of people. Our whole community cares about this, and that's why it works.
Yep.
Because we're all invested. And that's what I really want to make sure everyone hears is this isn't me. This is our whole community caring about these young people. And look where they're going. So
Yeah.
thank you for making space.
Yep.
And thank you so much, Chief, for
Absolutely.
letting us take your time.
Can we
Yep.
get a photo, though?
Yes.
Yeah, let's get a photo of everybody. You're just in time for the photo, Renee. Come on, get down front.
Can we get a photo of all,
No.
all the youth and the supporters?
No, you didn't misreport.
Ryan, did you get my email? Just 1 second.
Irving's doing study table. He's working. He's always working. Or groceries. I know.
I'll make sure the city gets it. Jennifer, I'll make sure you get this photo too. This is a great photo, so congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, beautiful. Awesome. Whoa. Whoa, yeah. Oh.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. Oh, good, thank you.
Everybody,
As you guys are heading out, Jennifer, as you guys are heading out, Councilman Hudson would like to say something as you guys are heading out.
yeah, I just wanted to say just one more thing because it's so meaningful for you all to be here. And I'm going to embarrass Mayada, but a word that she said that I just really, really appreciate is the word uplifting. We have so many groups of people who live in our city from all walks of life. And when we uplift each other, when we lift up each other, we can do amazing things. And so to see all you here, it's just absolutely amazing. Thank you to the entire team. Thank you for you all for being here because that's what we need to do. We need to lift up one another because that's how our community is strong. So incredibly grateful. And thank you for using that word, Mayada.
Now get the study table and keep those grades going up. We don't want to be responsible for bad grades. Okay, if we could please re-sign in quick since Councilwoman Hardman got here. And then while we're doing that, Chief, take it away.
Mayor, council, city manager, staff and community, Chris Scott, Chief of Police. I'm here tonight. It's my honor to give the city one of the most unique awards that I probably ever thought I would both receive and give. Our department, after the mayor's task force a couple years ago, one of the goals that came out of that was to create a community video that highlights our department and some of the things that we do with the community. That took some time to put together, but we were able to find a company by the name of Trilix that worked with us for quite a period of time. Hours upon hours of interviews, driving in our squad cars with ride-alongs. They took this video back, they cut it, and they put together what turned out to be an Emmy awarding video. And so tonight, before we present the Emmy Award, I think we're going to watch the video real quick.
That's amazing. Jeez. Emmy Award. That's incredible. I like it so far.
Community policing's the modern standard for policing. We realized very quickly we can't do what we do without the assistance from the community. We can't be everywhere all at once, so there are eyes and ears. If they're not working with us, if we have the mentality of us versus them, we're never going to be able to function as an effective police department.
So you see how he likes being up in there? It's nice and cool in there. He's got water. And then if I want to, I can open, there's a little divider thing I can open. He can stick his head up and he gives me kisses. He likes my ears for some reason.
I've learned that the amount of community support here is incredible, and words cannot express how much that means to me.
And I think once you become part of the West Des Moines family, I think you'll realize how awesome the departments are, but then the community that supports us is really the best part.
In my 31 years here in West Des Moines, the community has always supported this police department. It's the reason I've stayed in West Des Moines for so long.
The whole concept of police is to be a part of the community, right? If the community trusts you, there's no limit to what we're able to do and how we can serve them. If we can meet their expectations, that helps us in so many different ways. It's just paramount that we have that relationship with our community.
Hey, I noticed you have a helmet on. Do you think you'd like to have one so your head stays nice and safe?
Putting on this uniform every day reminds me that I need to think about how I'm presenting myself to the public and what I'm giving to the public every day. It's not, you know, you go out and do your own thing, you go out to serve.
I have one for you too. Can I put it on you? We'll see if it fits for you, okay?
You get this kind of unique and strange opportunity to be in people's lives, and it's your kind of the chance to show what we do, all the different things we can do to help people. It's not always just the negative side of things.
I think people think we are just cops and that's all our life revolves around, but we're people that have families, we're people that have kids, that have spouses, significant others, whatever it might be. We are just like the people in the community, and we want them to see that. We want them to like us for who we are, not just what we wear and who we represent.
You impact your community one way or another. Every interaction you have with your citizens do make a difference in their lives.
Putting on my uniform on a daily basis feels like an opportunity. It feels like an opportunity to have an impact on the community. It also feels like an opportunity to have an impact on the department.
The fact that we get up every day and we do it again, and we do it again, and we do it again because we believe in something. We believe in something higher than ourselves.
When I impact people in a positive way, it means everything.
I don't think that you choose this career. I honestly believe this career chooses you.
For me, the most rewarding thing, whether it be daily or long-term, is did I make a difference today? You know, we have a calling to do this job. We provide a service to our community. And at the end of the day, did I make a difference in someone's life?
I serve to help people on their worst day. I serve to make an impact in a community that I care about.
I serve because it's a calling.
I serve to give back to the community I grew up in.
I serve to make a difference, to protect those who can't protect themselves.
I serve because of my family, I serve because of everything.
I'm Officer Newman, and I serve to be a part of something bigger than myself.
I serve the city of West Des Moines because I care.
I serve.
I serve.
I serve.
I serve the city of West Des Moines.
A filter. New Bear With Me alert.
So I want to recognize, everybody knows Assistant Chief Jody Hayes. This was a project that he kind of took on. He got people to come to their interviews. He scheduled everything that was done. It was a huge undertaking, and I just want to just say thank you for all the work that you put into this. And to Trilex for even nominating this, and here you go. So the National Academy of Television and Arts and Science presents to the City of West Des Moines the 2022 Upper Midwest Regional Emmy Award for the Division of Politics and Government Short Form Content, West Des Moines Police Department Community Video. So.
Are we gonna need an IMDb page now? All right, let's come out. We gotta get a picture. Yeah, it's the Emmys.
Did you go to?
No. All right, let's get a picture.
We gotta get another photo.
Trilex did.
Big picture. All three public safety departments are nationally accredited, and one of them is Emmy Award winning. This is incredible. Fire department and EMS, they're going to have
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. Oh wow. That is so an honor. I love our city, it's amazing. Congratulations.
I'll pretend I'm on the red carpet.
We get the logo in the background. We get the logo in the background.
Oh my
Hey, now we gotta get them a raise.
I can't believe that.
That's amazing.
That's cool. Very cool.
Wow. Wow.
Now Ryan's gonna find a spot for the city hall.
Unbelievable. Chief, thank you. Thank you to you. Thank you to Jody. Thank you to Trilex who put this together. Unbelievable. That is incredible.
Mills.
We will have to display that somewhere with pride. Yeah, traveling trophy. Okay.
We're ready to finish the re-signing
Oh,
for those
okay.
that
If you
haven't
haven't
pushed the button
signed in,
yet.
please re-sign in.
And we now have 4 members present.
Okay, and we have Lotz on the phone, or Councilman Lotz on the phone, or no?
I wasn't
No?
aware if he was.
Oh, somebody told me he was on the phone. Okay. Well, he's here in spirit. He's here in spirit. He missed the Emmy. Okay, so moving on, we're going to start with Councilman Trevilian for his report.
Nothing this time, Your Honor.
Okay, Councilwoman Hardman.
Okay. Well, congratulations, Chief, for the Emmy Award. I was like, is this from LA or Hollywood and all of that? I can't believe it. Just unbelievable. So congratulations. I'd like to also say that since we've last gotten together, the mayor and Councilman McKinney and myself attended the public safety event in which they swore in some officers. There was a tenured recognition for 5 years of service, 10 years. I think there was someone for 25 years. So there was just phenomenal recognition going on. And there was recognition of folks within the force. And I just want to share with you personally the thing that touched me the most. All of it did. But there were 3 young men who were recognized for being heroic and helping to save a life. And they were recognized, and I'm going to just share that one Sunday, it was around 7:30, 8 o'clock on Civics Mill Parkway. I was turning the corner to try to go home, and there were 3 of these young men near the fence trying to save a person from jumping over the fence. They were trying to climb to jump over the fence. And they were holding the person down, actually. And I parked my car. I know that it was illegal. Traffic's going everywhere. My car door's open because these folks were in distress. And so I was able to call the police department. They got there so quickly and had to take the person away because the person was in distress. But it was 3 of these boys who happened to just be going around, looked and saw this person wanting to jump over the fence into ongoing traffic, but stopped what they were doing to hold this person down as the person was constantly trying to jump. So I really appreciate the follow-up that you all did to get these 3 individuals there to be recognized. They're very young. And they were traumatized because when we were done, I said, how you feel? And they were totally traumatized by it. And I was too. And I was just happened to be a bystander. Trying to call the police for them. So that meant a lot to me to see these young boys make a difference in someone's life. And so no matter what else they do, I think they'll remember for the rest of their lives that when you see something, you do something. And it takes courage. So the last thing I want to share is I was able to participate with others in the 4th West Des Moines Martin Luther King event, and I want to thank Audrey Kennis and her team of folks that truly had the light shine on West Des Moines. And there were so many individuals in one place, the Recplex, celebrating Martin Luther King holiday. The mayor, you gave some very inspirational remarks about what the holiday meant. You read the proclamation, and we got to have a keynote speaker that was just phenomenal. And I was pleased to just share a few words about what the holiday meant to me. But I just want to say, I got so many emails and calls from folks. You know what people were saying? West Des Moines got it going on. That's what they were saying. West Des Moines got it going on. And so what that means is that we're moving and we're shaking. And Catherine was there, and she was presenting the youth their awards, and that was beautiful, Catherine. I know you were on the planning committee. So I just want to say kudos. Thank you, Audrey, for always making us look good and showing up and doing all the right things. We are forever grateful for you and your leadership. So you took this and you ran with it, and yeah, everybody. So, but I want to give you your props, okay? And so just want to say thank you. I'm just on a high from such a beautiful, I went to 3 different events, one virtually, so I counted as 4. But the West Des Moines one, to end my night like that, it was just great. And we got a text from Tom, who I know was very pleased. And he was just so happy with what he experienced and what he saw as a leader of West Des Moines as well. So I hope we made you proud, Tom, and appreciate you being there and the support of what Audrey's work is doing. Can't do it without a leader saying, let's go for it, let's do it. So it starts at the top. So just excited.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Appreciate it. Are you done with your remarks?
Well, I just want to say one other final thing.
Oh, sorry.
Although it's one day, it's a one-day celebration. Let's let his dream live 365 days, because it's about humanity.
Amen.
And so it doesn't just happen on January 16th. Humanity is a 365-day calling. So let's make it that.
Agreed. Amen to that. Yeah, I would just go out of order. Usually the mayor goes last on the comments, and just echo some of the comments that Councilwoman Hardman said. And I would also say that she gave very inspirational remarks, as she always does, and was just phenomenal. So appreciate all of your remarks, Renee, everything that you said, everything that you've worked to get done as a councilwoman here. And I want to for sure thank the team. I mean, staff that, not only Audrey, but all of our staff that helped set it up. Althea Holcomb was there and others. So many department directors and city staff, police officers, community members were there. I said in my remarks that anytime I point out elected officials and people that are there, I always forget somebody. I made mention of Rob Denson from DMAC that was there, and of course I forgot to mention Angela Franklin, who was there from DMU as well. So Angela, if you're listening, I hope you're not, but I'm sorry. But just a phenomenal team effort that goes into putting on, you know, that celebration, celebrating the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And I'm just so proud. I shared some of the things that we've done when it comes to trying to be welcoming and inclusive as a community. And we've just achieved a lot in a very short period of time, and we've got a lot more to go. But none of these things could have been possible without Tom Haddon as our city manager and all of our city staff that's been so supportive, and we've all been rowing in the same direction. And then the city council, who has always been supportive of everything that we've done in that regard. So just makes me really proud as a city. And as Renee said, this is our shared humanity more than anything. You know, people want to break this down to politics, and they want to talk Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative. It's none of that. Okay, it's doing the right thing. It's pulling for people, trying to help people grow and thrive and succeed and have all the opportunities that people deserve in a community. So it was a great celebration. Appreciate everybody that was there and everything that everyone did to put that on. And then I would just also comment on, I totally had forgotten about the police swearing in and the life-saving awards of the kids and others. My friend Blaine Brinkmeyer has been with the police department for 25 years. We celebrated him. I thought I saw him outside, but maybe not. and he's been on patrol for all 25 years. Reminds me of my father-in-law. He's been given promotions and could move up and do so many other things. He just loves what he does, loves the community, and so many of our police officers and public safety officials are like that. This video was absolutely amazing and captured who we are as a police department, who we are as staff. And, if you go to one of these swearing-in ceremonies, I mean, you can just see, and I tell you, I thank God every day for Chief Scott coming here and Jody and their leadership. The camaraderie that we have in the police department is like it has never been in my 13 years with the city. And it's very evident when you attend one of these ceremonies. A lot of speakers that get up and recognize their fellow officers, lieutenants, sergeants, and there's a lot of fun that they poke with each other there, and it's just very heartwarming to see. So I was proud to be a part of that and to swear in 3 additional police officers and celebrate a lot of our other officers who have been here a long time. So, Councilman McKinney.
Thank you, Mayor. And, there is a lot to celebrate there, and they always have cake, The chief is always saying, hey, if we got something to celebrate, you got to have cake. Hey, I won't belabor the point. I will make a couple additional comments, and that is, great comments about the event yesterday. All the folks that made that happen. When you stand there, it really is a community event. You have state legislators, you have members of the Polk County Board of Supervisors, you had the council members there, you had school institutions, you had the school board members there. Everybody coming together for a really fantastic event. And I hear you. That keynote was absolutely. It was very, very moving.
He was awesome.
Yep. A couple other things I want to add. First, earlier I didn't recognize Brian Hemeseth and Linda Schimmel for their work in participating in that larger conversation relative to the Kings Landing project. Thank you for taking the time to go out there to sit down with dozens, I think 30, 40 residents in a room and walk away with unanimous support on something like that. It's really fantastic. And the last thing I'll say is, we continue to lead, not only the event yesterday and a lot of different things, but boy, our city had a really great year last year. When the numbers came in, we got a report this last week, or maybe it was I don't know, sometime since our last council meeting. We had the second largest in terms of building valuation growth in the city's history during 2022, and the number one year for the city of West Des Moines as it relates to residential housing permits. So we've got a tremendous amount of growth, and at the same time, we've got everybody balancing all these other things that are happening in the community. It's so fun to see, and I know we've already got a good start in 23. So thank you, Mayor. That's all I've got.
Great comments. Appreciate it. Councilman Hudson.
All right. Here's the thing. There was a very, very long meeting ahead of us 2 weeks ago because we had so many things to go through. And so I put off my comments until tonight. And here we go. So the Martin Luther King celebration was wonderful. And everything that everyone said is just right on point. Special thanks to the entire team to put it together. I want to go back to what I said earlier when the folks from YJI were here, and Mayada was a student of mine last year. She was an award winner yesterday, and she is fantastic. She works with RISE, an organization meant to help uplift recent immigrants to the community, the Des Moines metropolitan area, doing amazing work, because why would we not want to lift up everyone who is here? And, talking about the celebration we had, we talk about Dr. King. I'm holding this pen. It was just up here. And the pen from the Donald V. Adams Leadership Institute says, it's one of these pens that says stuff, and it says love unconditionally. And again, what Mayada said was just so important to understand, because that's what Dr. King believed. We have to love each other unconditionally, because why would we not want to work together? And so a couple of quick reports. The Homeless Coordinating Council, of which I serve as liaison. We just did a survey, and by we, I mean the organization, a team of Drake professors along with other municipalities did a survey of the unsheltered to really find out more. Because the more we can actually find out about those who are living an unsheltered life, because it's so tough, the quicker that we can find solutions for them. So that was really helpful. We got almost 200 responses. And these responses are not easy to receive, not easy to get, considering the nature of a person who is unsheltered. So we're on our way in regards to that and working together with other municipalities for that. YJI, why would we not want to celebrate those who are doing tremendous work in the field of restorative justice for our young people? It's just so important, so we're lifting one another up. In our finance subcommittee, Councilman Lotz and I, we've been working through the applications for hotel motel fund tax. If you're unfamiliar, every year people come to the city of West Des Moines and they stay in hotels and they pay a little extra tax to stay in the city of West Des Moines. And when they do that, we receive that tax money and we invite community organizations to apply for a portion of that money to put on events in the city of West Des Moines, which will in turn bring more people to the city of West Des Moines to stay in our hotels, and the cycle goes on. And so we're working through those applications right now. And so when people are coming to West Des Moines, we're lifting our entire community up because those visitors will have economic impact in other different ways. And finally, I serve on the Parks and Rec Board as the liaison, and I just wanted to share, I can't remember who said something about like how many people are going to... Yeah. Catherine was wondering, like, how many people came to the Recplex, and the Parks and Rec report talked about just over winter break, we have 2,500 people just coming to drop in. That's not part of any official, 2,500. And that's just like one aspect. That's for drop-in play and just the 1 week of winter break. And that's not including all the camps and all of the other tournaments that are held. So there's programs aplenty, teams coming from all over the Midwest to come to West Des Moines, and it's wonderful. But as we talk about the world of Park and Rec, I really want to lift up one specific person right now, because it's Tuesday, January 17th, and this Friday, January 20th, is going to be the last day for the retiring Dave Sadler. And I definitely wanted to recognize him. He's not here, but I will embarrass him nonetheless because he served the city for almost a quarter century. And as the director of parks for the city over the years, working with Sally, working with Ryan, working with so many other wonderful people at the city for the last quarter century, I really wanted to recognize him because it takes a lot of dedication to work for a place for 24 years. And all the while, what is he doing? He's making sure our parks are awesome. Why? So we can have a community that's lifted up because so many people use our parks. And so I wanted to share my immense gratitude to him. And we'll have... We'll speak some words about others who are retiring over the years because it's a big loss for parks this year in so many different ways. But for right now, I wanted to recognize Dave and give him a hearty thank you. So,
yeah, let's hear it for Dave.
Thank you.
I'm glad you remembered to say that. I will not belabor the point. Dave is an amazing human being. I worked with him for the last 13 years and really enjoy him thoroughly. So we're going to miss him tremendously. All right, City Manager Haddon.
Quickly, one of the people being recognized is that the police, and today, this morning, as Chief Scott, his 5 years was officially in December 7th, I think was the date. But we're very glad to have Chief Scott with us, and his leadership is exceptional. And then while we're handing out kudos, the whole back row, there's a few scattered around with Lynn, Todd, Chris in the audience here, and the city attorney next to me, that the reason we're such an exceptional city, not the reason, one of the reasons, is that we have, these are our leaders of the department directors who keep this machine going regularly. So wanted to give them kudos. Thank you.
Okay, so one more thing, I'm sorry, and then we'll move on. I was remiss, I do want to mention that many of you may know that the Book of Lists came out, and they came up with the 25 most influential leaders in the Des Moines metro area, and one of our very own was the number 12 most influential leader in the metro area, and it was not yours truly. My mom did vote for me 5 times. But I didn't even make honorable mention. Our own Councilwoman Renee Hardman is the 12 most influential leaders in Greater Des Moines. So I'm very, very proud of that, very proud to see her on that list. I think this is not the first time she's been on that list. I want to say she was on the list last year too, right? As well as her nonprofit was. So congratulations, and very proud to serve with you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, if nobody else has anything, we'll move on to item 4, the consent agenda. Are there any items that any council person would like to pull and have a separate vote on? If not, it would take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So move.
Okay.
Second.
Wow, this is like a first. All right, please vote.
4 yes.
Okay, moving on. Item 5, old business. Item 5A, Glen Oaks Row Homes, southwest corner of I-35, Mill Civic Parkway, amend comprehensive plan land use map to establish medium-density residential land use and amend the Glen Oaks planned unit development ordinance to add parcel M and regulations governing the development of medium-density residential in parcel M. Paramount Destinations Homes, Inc. We have got an ordinance for approval of the second reading, waiver of the third reading, and adoption in final form. There are no outstanding issues and no changes from the previous reading, which was adopted unanimously with Councilman Trevilian absent. And I'd also note that, as brought up during the Citizens Forum, this has been deferred a number of times, both at P&Z and the council. We started discussion on this at Development and Planning, I believe, back on October 3rd. And I'd note that Planning and Zoning approved this, one of these actions 7-0 unanimously, and the other 6-1 with Hatfield voting no. With that, I would.
Consideration the second reading?
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Your Honor, I think in relation to what Mr. Burns talked about, I don't know what it would hurt to delay this for another month to the February 20th meeting, so their residential association can join in at their annual meeting for them to discuss this. I realize that it is contingent on the homeowners association granting that access, but I still think that in the best interest of the residents that live out there, we should give them the opportunity to discuss this at their annual meeting, and then we hear from them prior to the February 20th meeting and bring it back. I don't know what a month is going to hurt.
Okay. Thank you for your comments, Councilman. Any other additional comments?
I guess I'd add here, Councilman Trevilian, I understand where you're coming from. The struggle I have here is that when this came before the Development Planning Committee back in early October, we had a pretty extensive conversation about ultimately whose decision is this? In other words, is it the council's decision or is it the homeowners association decision? And the issue that we have here relates to the setback. And with respect to that setback item, I'll just say that's on the agenda tonight, the discussion related to, well, what does a setback do? Why do we have this setback? And I know I'll probably get this wrong, and I guess maybe it'd be, I know Linda's out there, or Lynn is out there, and so Lynn, if I've said something inaccurate here, but we have this setback for purposes of ensuring that homes are set back a certain distance for public safety related reasons. And I think traditionally the setback is measured, I'll say, from the street, back maybe 35 feet. But in this particular instance, the setback is measured from, I guess, a property line that is further in, if you will, that's not from the street. And so for purposes of measurement, the proposed development would be a sufficient distance back from the street that it would otherwise satisfy our requirements for distance. It just happens to be a very unique situation here because of the location of the property boundary. I offer all that to give context that the reason we approved this at the Development and Planning meeting back in October was that the intent of the setback is satisfied here. And so really, the question isn't whether the development should move forward or not. The question is whether or not we have an issue with respect to the setback. We didn't believe there was an issue with respect to the setback. And ultimately, whether this development moves forward, at least as I understood it, doesn't really relate to this at all. The question is whether or not the HOA would be willing to grant access. And, I guess as I heard earlier today, and as I continue to hear, we don't know whether they're going to grant access or not. If the HOA decides, vote it down, not to grant access, my understanding is there's no way to access a property, so the development couldn't occur. If, on the other hand, the HOA votes yes, grant them access, then the development could proceed, and it would proceed in a fashion that wouldn't undermine the intent of our existing regulations, if you will. I know that's a lot there, but I just wanted to give that context.
I understand it. I just think we need to let them have their say on this and discuss it.
Yes, we had a resident speak to that at Citizens Forum before you got here that asked us to defer on it until after they have the Homeowners Association meeting, which is going to be February 15th. I hear both of you, and I appreciate Kevin's comments, and I also appreciate your comments. We try to be fair to everybody in the city, whether they're a developer or a citizen of the city. We try to be fair and reasonable to everybody. We began discussing this October 3rd. It's been deferred and deferred and deferred. We've had several long, robust discussions on it. I think the point that you're making, really, you both end up being right. If we approve this tonight, and by we, I mean you, because I can't vote. But if we approve this tonight, and February 15th, the Homeowners Association meets and denies the access, it's over, right? So the way I'm looking at this is this makes it shovel-ready. It doesn't delay the developer any longer. It's fair to him in that regard. But the Glen Oaks Homeowners Association has their ability to have their say. And if they have their say and they vote no, the project doesn't go forward. So I guess I don't see the harm, and it seems to me.
Yeah, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable moving forward for that reason, if only because if the association wants to nix it, well, that's that. And the fact that this is up against an interchange, a freeway on-ramp pretty much. So given those realities, if the homeowner association is if they're good with it, if the staff is good with it, if we're good with it, I'm comfortable moving forward. I understand maybe waiting, but they have the ability to sink it, so to speak. So I'm all right moving forward at this point.
Okay.
I'd like to speak to it as well as a member of Planning and Development with Councilman McKinney. And I didn't hear the remarks earlier, but, this has been a process for months and months and months. And it's gone through a rigorous, somewhat vetting process. And, as we sit in these seats, we have to make decisions. And like I've always said, and I just said it last time we met, we're not going to make everyone happy. And we never will. And so I think we need to vote this up or down. And again, as the homeowners association can do their business, because we don't know what they're going to do. We have no idea. I don't have all of the homeowners association meetings in front of us. They'll get to do their vote, and then whatever happens and ensues from that, it happens. So I think we need to call this to a vote and see where we land and allow the homeowners association to do their bidding for what they're willing to accept.
Okay, it's been called to question. I just would say I really appreciate the thoughtfulness of everybody up here, and I can't imagine somebody calls into question the thoughtfulness of this council, because we are very thoughtful on issues and talk through them maybe too much. So
Motion
Appreciate it.
to approve the second reading.
it's already been moved and seconded.
To approve the second reading.
Well, we need to vote on the
We
consideration.
need to vote on the consideration.
not
It's already
vote on
been
that
moved
yet?
and
Oh, I'm
seconded,
sorry.
so please vote.
There we go.
It's been moved, the consideration of the second reading's been moved and seconded, and now we just we had discussion, now we just need to vote. Yep.
Step too far. Embarrassing.
3 yes, 1 no. An ordinance amending the city code of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2019, and ordinances pertaining to plan unit development, number 30, district regulations and guidelines.
Motion to approve the second reading.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
Three yes, 1 no.
Okay, and before we move on to item 5B, I want to apologize. I made a mistake. I made a note to myself to pull the proclamation that we have today, and we got some people here that are very interested in this proclamation.
Before we move on to that, we didn't have the motion to
Sorry.
waive third reading
Sorry,
and
we're all
adopt the
getting
final.
way ahead of ourselves. But I just want to say, I will be, under other matters, I will be reading this proclamation if everybody can stay. Okay, can I get a motion to
Oh, sorry, I
waive?
thought we couldn't waive it if it wasn't unanimous. So my fault.
We can.
Usually the first reading, if it's unanimous, then
First.
we bring it back for second and third consideration.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, so can I
in
get
that
a
case,
motion
I will
to?
make a motion to waive the third reading and adopt in final form.
Okay.
Sorry.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, please vote.
3 yes, 1 no.
Okay, we're all over the place tonight. Let's get it together, folks. Okay, item 5B. Woodhouse Planned Unit Development, 7220 Lake Drive, establish the Woodhouse Planned Unit Development Ordinance to govern development of the PUD parcel, Woodhouse Auto Group. We've got an ordinance for approval of the second reading, waiver of the third reading, adoption of final form. There are no outstanding issues. There's been no change from the previous reading, which was again adopted unanimously with Councilman Trevilian absent.
Motion to consider the second reading.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote. I think a lot of people are excited about this development coming to town.
4 yes, in order to amend the official zoning map in the city code of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2019 by amending Title IX zoning, Chapter 9, Plan Unit Development District pertaining to PUD district regulations and guidelines.
Motion to approve the second reading.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
Four yes.
Motion to waive the third reading and adopt in final form.
Second.
Please vote.
Four yes.
Okay, item 5C, Katib East property, southeast corner of Mills Civic Parkway, 335th Street, and South Grand Prairie Parkway, amend comprehensive plan land use map to establish multi-use low land use accurate land company, Inc. We've got a resolution to approve the comp plan amendment. We had several in the chamber last time, as we mentioned during the Citizens Forum, who were opposed to this, and we had a robust discussion last time. And as you heard, we deferred on this item last time to have a chance for the developer and for the residents to get together and have a meeting. And we've heard it's been a great meeting, and we are just elated that things are moving forward the way that they are. So with that, someone want to move approval of the resolution?
Move approval.
Is there a second? Okay, any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. I wasn't even going to give you a chance. Hearing none,
No, it's
please
all
vote.
I was going to say, I'm just glad that everyone got together to talk and really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Four yes.
Okay, item 5D, amendment to City Code, Title 7, Public Ways and Property, Chapter 1, Streets, Sidewalks, and Alleys, Section 6, Maintenance of Parking, Terrace, and Sidewalks, Subsection A, Responsibility of Property Owner, to clarify the responsibility of the property owner, which abuts the public right-of-way. We have got a motion to reconsider the second reading of the ordinance amendment, and then we've got an ordinance for approval of the second reading. We need to take the motion to reconsider first. If somebody wants to make that motion.
I will make that motion to reconsider.
Okay, is there a second? Okay. Hearing no second, it dies for lack of a second. And I guess, does somebody else want to make another motion? Last time, if you remember, we had a robust discussion. There was a motion made to defer on the item, or a motion made to approve, I'm sorry, and that failed by a vote of 2-2. And then there was a motion made to defer the item, and then that was approved, I believe, 4-0. But I believe if we don't have another motion tonight, this item is dead, right? Okay. Now, the problem with that is that this could have potential repercussions for the rest of the city.
So if I might, maybe from clarification, the staff would view this as maintaining the status quo because it was simply a clarifying resolution. So
we're just not clarifying our code.
Right, and maybe the council wants to provide direction in some other way. I will say, in support, I know what Mr. Bell had indicated, but in looking into this was subdivided. There was a retracement plat of survey that was done by on behalf of Mr. Bell some time ago, 2018. And as you can see, I'll just hand these out. But the strip that we're talking about was platted. And as was mentioned, in 1978, when this development came about, what happened was the city had an exaction policy, as we do today. We wanted to widen our right-of-ways to conform with the existing standards. And so that yellow portion there is what was dedicated as street right-of-way, and it's actually called out as a street lot. So that's considered to be right-of-way. The assessor views that as right-of-way. And so because Mr. Bell is adjacent to that right-of-way, whether it was one parcel or two parcels or three parcels, it's used as right-of-way. So under our current code, we would interpret that to say he's responsible to mow that. So that's the direction that staff will take unless you want to give us other direction to bring back another ordinance that changes that position.
No, I misinterpreted the lack of action on this. You're exactly right. The current code would stand as is, which requires him to take care of this property. It just doesn't go in and clarify like we were trying to do.
Up the language.
Doesn't clean up the language at all. I think what was confusing on this is it looked like the right-of-way that was once there in whole ended up being divided into a couple pieces, which led to confusion on this entire thing. But clearly, I think the way that this is, exactly like you said, it is right-of-way and he abuts it.
There was right-of-way there, Mr. Mayor, and then when they subdivided his subdivision, they were required to give another 10 feet, which is that yellow strip. So that just became more of the right-of-way, but it's now in two portions as opposed to one parcel.
Right. That's what confused matters, I think, and threw everybody for a loop. But, okay, so this item dies for lack of a second, and we just don't clarify current code. And Mr. Bell, who was here tonight, had to leave, so he couldn't stay for the item, but he will continue to have to maintain that. So, okay, moving on to item 6, public hearings. We've got one item 6A. This is the time and the place for a public hearing to consider agreement for private development initiated by SBBP JV21 LLC. Ryan, did you please read the date the notice was published?
January 6, 2023, in the Des Moines Register.
And received any written comment to this hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody from the audience or online that would like to address the council, please make sure you give us your name and address. If you're in the audience, come up to the podium. If you're online, please hit *6 to unmute yourself. Again, *6, not #6. Is there anybody that would like to address the council on item 6A? Okay, hearing no one, I'll declare the public hearing closed. We have got a resolution for approval of the infrastructure agreement. There are no outstanding issues.
Move approval.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
And after this one, perhaps we could do the Day of Kindness?
I was going to do that under other
Okay.
matters.
Very good.
I mean, I can if people need to leave.
That was my only concern, but I imagine they'll go quickly, but who knows?
Yeah, we're getting there.
All right, Mayor.
Okay, hearing no discussion, please vote.
4 yes.
Okay, new business, item 7A. Forest Point Plat 2, south of Stagecoach Drive on the east side of South 81st Street, extension south of Forest Point Plat 1. Accept surety for public improvements and approve and release final plat to create 13 lots for single-family development, 2 outlots and 3 street lots. Jordan Ridge LLC. We've got a resolution to accept surety and approve and release the final plat. There are no outstanding issues, but there are several conditions of approval regarding allowing public utility easements in the front and side yard, inspection and acceptance of the buffer plantings that have been planted there along South 81st Street, construction of a trail, and as-built detention facilities submitted before temporary or permanent occupancy permits are issued. And also, there needs to be availability of water and access to the site that is approved by the fire marshal before any combustibles are brought on the site for above-ground construction. So with that, does somebody want to move the resolution?
So moved.
There's a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Four yes.
Okay, item 7B, adoption of amendment to city policy regarding hotel motel tax funding for community and external organizations. We have got no outstanding issues. This came through Finance Administration with unanimous recommendation. Does somebody want to move approval?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion at all?
Director Stiles?
Okay.
At the risk of extending the meeting, Tim Stiles, Finance Director. Just a couple points I wanted to make on this one because it's somewhat unusual for us to bring a pretty innocuous change to a policy forward to the council under new business. The reason being, I just wanted to make sure council understood what we were going to do moving forward. And really this speaks to the need for anytime the city contributes money to either a nonprofit or an outside private organization, that there needs to be some expectation that we're getting something in return that serves the public purpose. And so what you'll be seeing from us, whether it's through the hotel motel tax process that we've allocated funds in the past, or really if we do any contribution to an outside organization, really it's going to take more of the form of a grant where there's a written agreement where it's clear what those services or what the organization's providing back to the city in return for our grant or investment in that organization. So in this case, after the hotel motel tax vetting policy that we've done for many years, the Finance Committee reviews, gives a recommendation, comes to council. Ultimately, after those are approved by council, assuming there's some contributions approved, we will negotiate those. I think there'll be relatively short written agreements with the organizations. For example, West Des Moines Girls Softball provides a rec softball program that serves hundreds of residents of West Des Moines who play recreational softball. We'll just have an agreement that clarifies what they're doing for the city in return. And the reason for all this is there's been a lot of discussion amongst the attorneys and the state auditor and some just reasons that we would want to do that in writing. So I wanted to point that out to the council that there'll be a bit of a change going forward, but it's probably covered best under this policy.
And I think what you described, Tim, is absolutely important for a couple of purposes. One, accountability, and two, transparency, because those things, as you mentioned, when it came to what the auditors are saying, what attorneys are saying, it's important that we can be as good stewards as we can when it comes to this particular money, because it is going to outside sources. And I really want to commend not just Tim and his team, but also Councilman Lotz, who has also really encouraged us to really step up when it comes to the amount of financials that we're receiving, so we can have a full understanding of the monies that we are potentially providing to organizations who are trying to bring things to West Des Moines. So I want to thank Tim, I want to thank Chris, I want to thank Councilman Lotz as well, because it's important for those purposes that I mentioned before.
Thanks. Thank you. Okay, any further discussion on this item? Tim, I appreciate the explanation. Greg, appreciate always you chairing the Finance Administration Subcommittee and working through all of this and working to make sure that we are providing awards to unbelievable organizations in our community that do have a great public purpose. So, thank you. Okay, please vote.
I do have a question, though. I've already.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Why not?
Yeah. And I appreciate that we need to clean this up. So there is still a committee, a subcommittee that will evaluate all the requests.
Yes.
And we'll look at every organization
Yes.
for the value that they add.
Correct.
Some are small, some are large organizations. I want to be real careful of that because sometimes smaller organizations get a little bit squeezed. Although if they're performing a public function, but so just wanted to make sure there's still a process for the evaluation of these applications.
Yeah, and there is. And we are in the midst of that right now. Tomorrow morning, we have the second round of applications. And then next Wednesday, we'll have the third round. I think we have 15 applications total. And I think historically, we have provided for big organizations, medium organizations, small organizations across the gamut because Councilwoman Hardman, you're absolutely right, because so many people of different sizes, so many organizations, different sizes provide so many different things to this community. And it's important that smaller organizations don't get lost in the mix. Furthermore, it should be said at this point that the applications, it's wonderful that we have so many organizations who want to invest in our community to bring more people to the community. In this particular year, the amount that has been requested far, far, far exceeds the amount of money that we do have, which is unfortunate, but it is the reality, so we have to wade through those
What
as
money
well.
do we have available this year?
It's basically, I believe, it's almost $750,000 that's been requested, and we have roughly $350,000. So it's a big gap, and I'm rounding there just a little bit. Does that sound right, Tim? Somewhere around there, might be a little bit less or a little bit more, but that's the basic framework. So it is going to provide some difficulties, but we're really looking forward to going through those applications because it is still really wonderful to see that people want to bring things to our community, and that's great.
I think the reason for this is we really need to make sure that everything we do has a public purpose because it's public, taxpayer dollars, whether it's hotel motel dollars or property tax dollars. And there are a lot of very worthwhile organizations out there that do incredible, incredible work. But if they don't have a public purpose specific to our city and our residents, we'd be donating to every 501c3 out there and not have the taxpayers of the city seeing the return on their investment. And so we have to be very mindful of that with everything that we do and make sure that we're always having that tie back. And, it's, I'm sure, easy to try to make that case for any 501c3 that does incredible work, but they have to show that kind of that direct connection that does have a public purpose. Otherwise, we're not appropriating this money as we should. So, okay, I think voting is ended. Ryan?
4 yes.
Okay, moving on. Item 8, receive, file, and/or refer. There are no items to receive, file, or refer. Item 9, other matters, Chamber and West Des Moines Leadership Academy. I apologize that I overlooked this. Jamie, you're up next on deck. But we do a lot of really unbelievable proclamations, and it's hard to pick out one that's better than the next. But this is a really incredible proclamation that was started by the West Des Moines Leadership Academy, which is an unbelievable academy of incredible leaders across our city that not only live in this city, or they live here or they work here. And it's a proclamation for January 27th, 2023 to be a day of kindness. And Lord knows in this world today, we could all use more kindness. So I want to read this and then present it to the West Des Moines Chamber and the Leadership Academy. Whereas it is the mission of the city to serve people honestly and effectively and through a variety of services, strive to provide the quality of life desired by the community. And whereas it is the mission of the Chamber to champion all things West Des Moines, and they take this seriously, by strengthening our area our area companies, providing personalized resources and attracting a top workforce to position West Des Moines as the best suburban city in America. And whereas it is the vision of the West Des Moines Leadership Academy to positively influence the future of West Des Moines and the greater Des Moines community through strategic leadership development and workforce retention. And whereas the West Des Moines Leadership Academy would like to champion this day of kindness for years to come, and whereas putting smiles on faces of those who live, work, and play in West Des Moines should be something we all strive for, and whereas studies show that kindness benefits not only the receiver, but also the giver, whether these are companies or people. Companies that value kindness have lower turnover on their teams, lower recruitment costs, and higher productivity. And whereas a random act of kindness is giving your best self to others without requests or promise of return on investment, it's simply doing something nice for someone else without them asking and without you doing it for anything in return. And whereas the City of West Des Moines recognizes the benefits of having a kind and caring community, now therefore I, Russ Trimble, Mayor of the City of West Des Moines, Iowa, do hereby proclaim January 27, 2023 as West Des Moines Day of Kindness in the City of West Des Moines, and urge all citizens to celebrate West Des Moines Day of Kindness and support efforts to promote a spirit of kindness this day and every day. Signed this 17th day of January 2023. So thank you, West Des Moines Chamber of Commerce and the West Des Moines Leadership Academy. Now let's get a quick picture.
Stretch your legs a little bit.
Everybody.
It's a big day of pictures. Okay. We're here with Security National Bank, who is helping us to sponsor this, so thank you, Mayor. Thanks, Mayor. Matheson, our VP of Workforce and Culture.
You can't take this picture. You gotta get it. You gotta get it. Chris, could you take it or offer you somebody?
What's my newsletter next week? Really good. Closer in. Perfect. And we're under the W, that's perfect. 1, 2, 3. Do you want me to take one?
Big smile.
1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a record. It is a record. All right, with that, take care, everybody. Thank you so much. With that, under other matters, is there any other council person that has any other matters before we go to Deputy City Manager Letzring for a legislative update? Anybody? Any other matters that any council person would like to raise at this time? If not, we're going to go to Deputy City Manager Letzring. All right, give us the update. What great things are they doing up on the hill?
Manager. The Senate welcomed 14 new members. Senate Republicans gained 4 seats, increasing their majority to 36 Republicans and 14 Democrats. The House gained 39 new members, increasing, 39 new members gained 4 seats. That's an increase of their majority to 64 Republicans and 36 Democrats. So Governor Reynolds and the House and Senate enjoying another year of a trifecta. A couple of key items to note. One of the first bill to be filed this year was a property tax reform bill submitted by Representative Kaufman. There is no subcommittee for this bill scheduled, no subcommittee members assigned, no companion bill in the Senate yet. Metro Coalition was on a call today with a representative. We had some prepared remarks. He listened well at the end when City Manager Scott Sanders from Des Moines asked him next steps. He said this will be something that we'll see many iterations and quite possibly could be the last thing that we do on our way out the door.
But for those that don't know, the way that the House Republicans operate is, and they've been doing this the last couple times, last couple years at least, their most important legislation to that caucus starts out as House File 1. And they do it in priority order, pretty much. So if you're House File 1 through House File 10, you stand a pretty good chance of that thing getting some action. May not become law, but it's going to move. So.
Another item of note, today was a subcommittee on Senate File 43. This is a bill that would, West Des Moines would not be able to adopt or enforce design regulations for multifamily projects of any size. We don't currently regulate design for single-family dwellings, obviously, but most of our residential development would not be located in districts where those regulations would be accepted by the exceptions as per the bill, such as TIF districts, overlay districts, things like that. This initiative passed out of subcommittee today, so we'll wait to see if that gets a companion in the House. We'll, talk to those leadership contacts that we have on the House and see if anything transpires there. So I don't have anything else. That's fine.
Okay, thank you for keeping us updated, really appreciate it. Any other business to come before the council?
Picked up quick.
Hearing none?